welcome back. Breaking, sniper just sentenced to death. Eric Fren, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, was just sentenced to death for killing one state trooper and injuring another in an ambush. ABC News reports, a bell tolled the fate of a gunman after a jury on Wednesday condemned him to die for shooting two Pennsylvania troopers at their barracks in the late-night ambush, killing one and leaving a second with devastating injuries. Eric Fren, who's 33, was sentenced by a jury to death by lethal injection a week after his conviction on charges including murder of law enforcement officer and terrorism. Jurors have delivered full justice in this case and issued the penalty that is so richly deserved by Eric Fren, said District Attorney Ray Tonkin. Prosecutors said Fren was hoping to start an uprising against the government when he opened fire with a rifle on the Blooming Grove Barracks in the Pocono Mountains in 2014. Corporal Brian Dixon II, a Marine veteran and married father of two, was killed in the late-night ambush, and Trooper Alex Douglas was critically wounded. Fren showed no emotions as the decision was read, while someone on the police side of the gallery shouted yes. Douglas, who has endured 18 surgeries and might lose his lower leg, couldn't stop smiling. Defense lawyer Bill Russo told reporters he was disappointed by the sentence and surprised the jury failed to find a single mitigating circumstance that would point to a life sentence. It's crazy to have these killers and murderers, and in many cases illegal immigrants, be represented by Americans, people that were born here, for $1. They'll sell their country out, sell their fellow man out for their own profession to make a few dollars. It truly is sickening to watch. It's amazing some of these lawyers can sleep at night, or maybe they can't. This just happened. Dashcam footage captures the moment a meteor brightly streaks through the sky in Big Pine Key, Florida.
Let's break it up now. Got that on video. Let's break it up now. Got that.
That's very cool. I figured it'd be going faster though. At least the ones I seen were really moving. So it appears Ann Coulter ended up canceling her speech, which I wish she wouldn't have done that to prove the point. I wanted her to have the speech because, it's not like I could speak for her. I don't want anybody to get harmed, but the point is that these people have to be shown what they are. And violence would have occurred, and we would have had another perfect example on the attack of free speech, but she gave in and said, no, I'm not going to go now. But, rightfully so too, because I don't want to see her get harmed, but at the same time, it's almost like the cause is worth more than our life. As it was originally when America was forged, so was the cause back then worth more than life. And I believe it is once again, perhaps. The ACLU releases statement on Ann Coulter's speech cancellation. Following news that Ann Coulter canceled her appearance at the University of California, Berkeley American Civil Liberties Union National Legal Director, man, that is one hell of a title, David Cole had this reaction. The unacceptable threats of violence that have led to the heckler's veto of Ann Coulter's speech at Berkeley are inconsistent with free speech principles that protect us all from government overreach. Hateful speech has consequences, particularly for people of color. Now, like hateful speech to people of color in this day and age, from what I could tell, is actually true speech. A lot of the things that people say that's considered hateful speech is not really hateful as much as it is true. The LGBTQ people, immigrants, and others who have been historically marginalized. But if the government gets to decide which speech counts as hate speech, the powers that be may later feel free to censor any speech they don't like. For the future of our democracy, we must protect bigoted speech from government censorship on college campuses. That means that the best way to combat hateful speech is through counter-speech, vigorous and creative protest and debate, not threats of violence or censorship. Well, a little bit too late, I'd say. Too little, too late. The ACLU on Coulter speech cancellation. Then Ann Coulter says, way to step in when we needed you, ACLU. Yeah. A little too late for that. I don't really see what the big deal about the colleges is anyway. If you think about it, teaches you abstract knowledge with no practical application, doesn't help you build your confidence or how to win in real life. Now, college is incredibly expensive, yet it doesn't teach you any of those skills. I say screw this colleges. What have they even done for anybody? Unless you're going to be an engineer or a medical field, some sort of practitioner, I would say that college is almost irrelevant. And these so-called snowflakes and social justice warriors, they really think they're going to be able to compete in the real world against people like us? It's never going to happen. They might have their way and be bullies in college, but once they come to the real world, where the playing fields are somewhat even for middle-class Americans, they get stomped. They can't exist in the real world, and they know it.